belongs to the state. And this is what they say. But this thing is getting a lot more sticky about traffic tickets and things too. Number one, don't go at them about the traffic ticket. Go at them about the with the document that says what venue and jurisdiction are you out of. No one has the right to collect taxes from you that were not in the constitutions to begin with. Import, export, and excise taxes. That's what's been running the United States government from time going. Not the income tax, not the Social Security tax. Those taxes run it. The income tax has been going to England all these years. Started coming into the Treasury in 1999. Why? The country went out of bankruptcy. The Treasury, we found in the statutes, your Social Security belongs to the Queen. Says in there, and the Queen decided that she wanted this done. It's in your statutes. Look them up. Belongs to the Queen of England. How long are you going to worship the Queen? She stayed alive for 100 years. But the bond is a lethal weapon to them. It keeps you from losing everything you've got, and you are going to lose it. I can guarantee you that. The time is coming. Everybody's going to lose every piece of property they got unless you do this. Because the system is set up that way. It's simply set up that way. And so when you start using the bonds, you're not paying anything. You're discharging what should never have been to begin with. When you signed the promissory note, that note should never have been used against you and interest charged on it because it was paid to begin with. In the beginning, in 1933, they raked in all the gold. Now, they're holding all the gold, and they said, now, y'all go out and buy anything you want. We will issue the credit because we're holding the gold, the money. That was a promise they made in HJR 192, June 5th, 1933. We will pay the debts of the people dollar for dollar. When it becomes a debt to you, then the Treasury has agreed to pay it. And you can pay them through promissory notes, you can pay them through bonds, you can pay them through the bills of exchange. All of those are on our side of the ledger. You cannot create debt. The instant you create debt, they're going to throw you in jail. Why do you think people got thrown in jail over these things called CMOs, site drafts, the Freemans up in Montana? All of these people were on the debt side of the ledger. They were putting bank numbers on these checks. You're creating a debt. You can't do that. Only the banks, the corporations create debt. You have to create the credit. Stay on the credit side, and there's not a thing. And guess what? The Treasury looks out for you. They're not out there chasing you down because you wrote one of these bonds. They're out there chasing them guys down to see if they're going to steal your exemption. You were given an exemption in 1933. It's all in HJR 192. Given preferred stock in the federal corporation. You were given a prepaid account with every corporation that would be created out of this. And you were given, you're free from exemption. That's taxation. All of that is in that document. They hid it for years. But it's in that document. And so you're not doing anything that wasn't promised to you. It's not a thing of you're going to get away with something that nobody else is getting away with. It's not what it is. Guess what's going to happen to you when you use this on a credit card? They're going to cut your credit card off. They'll take the bond, but they'll cut your credit card off. Well, the issue to that, though, is they can't cut the credit card off. You're the one that created that contract. You're the only one that can cut the contract off. But the bonds are simply a document that allows you to issue credit when something becomes a debt to you. If you start losing your house, you better pay for it with a bond, or you're going to lose your house. When it becomes a debt, use the bond. So, anyway, we will see you next week, 5th Wednesday. Case does not. Let me see.
They offer a lowercase on the bottom.
Where is this? You don't tell me I'd make a mistake. Whereabouts is this?
Where?
Are you talking about on the bond? No. Here is his signature. This is a fiction signature. The surety is down here as you.
So on the line where it says surety, you put your upper lower case name?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now, I have not reported to my parole officer for 2 months because I did not have the money to pay every time. I report, what do? Stop from being arrested. I really don't know. I can get you in touch with a man, but he has really filed a lot of papers on his parole thing, and I would simply go in and, until you learn what to do, I'd simply go in and call her up and say, hey, I haven't had the money to pay you, and so that's the reason I didn't come and, I just don't have the money. And I'll catch up, when I get a job or whatever. But it never hurts to call somebody and tell them exactly what's happened. And say, I'm not trying to get out of paying you, and let her make that decision, or him. What do you do for automobile insurance? Suggestions? That's something you're going to have to work out. But you can't get an automobile insurance if you don't have a driver's license. So it's that's just a quandary that each person works out. I cannot tell you how to get insurance. If I could tell you, I'd get it. But I can't tell you how to get insurance. There was some companies that were selling insurance that you could get, but they shut them all down. So, can you copyright fingerprints? Yes. On January the 2nd, when you value your house with a property tax, can they disagree with you? No. Number one, when you get an evaluation, they want their money. Can you go down and argue with them about how much it is? Don't you go down and argue and say, that's way too much, and they come down on it? No, whatever you tell them, that's the way it's going to be. They cannot make you go up, but they can come down. Yeah. You render it, and you willingly told them, I'm going to let you tax this, but this is how much I'm going to pay. You don't render it, and they render it for you.
Well, isn't that right? There's a paragraph that says they can come against you and just argue that render. They can come out and they make mistakes. They can disagree with your render on the other hand.
Who can do that?
It just says it on the property page.
Yeah, who does it say comes out and argues with you? Well, is he a party to the contract you made there? Tell him you're third party, but out of this, buddy. They have no authority. Yep, they're gonna make a legal determination. This thing of the property tax gets to be fun because they go around in circles, and you cannot lose your house over property taxes. We've done this, and you simply go down and it's a negative averment. You take it into the court, you fire everybody there, and the judge it just goes away. And they'll never want property taxes again.
Where do you get forms for filing against
Huh?
Where do you get forms for filing against
You don't have. You just speak it. Your files, write it to them. While you're there in the court, you represent me, you're fired. I don't want anyone representing me. It comes in, I learned that from an attorney who told me, he said he was in the family, and he didn't really expound, but as I got more into it, I understood what he was saying. He came by, and one of the guys was griping about an attorney called him and asked him for money. And he said, he just walked by and he said, next time he calls, just tell him he's fired. And he did that. And when he did it, he said it got real quiet on the phone and the guy just hung up. So it started making sense that if you do not want representation from them, you simply fire them out of your commercial matters. This is all commerce. This is not a right and wrong system. You have to get that out of your head, that you're going into court to get a right and wrong answer. That's not what it's for. Justice is that. You don't get justice in those courts. They're there to take money. It's called the judge's chambers or the king's bank. That's all it's about.
I'm referring to a matter of wrongful death with an $18 million estate. Some judges and lawyers did not do a thing for them to get it involved in murder.
What do you mean? You mean...
the attorneys for them money is paid.
Oh, the attorneys are not going... Let me tell you something. The attorneys are not going to ever say that.
But there's a way to hold them responsible for and hold them accountable for the money.
I don't know. I've been into that a lot of times, and man, when it comes to a will, they're worse than thieves. They steal from each other.
The judge said the probate.
Yeah. And they all steal everything. Yes, Nancy. Okay, it says here, I do not sign anything that gives someone the right to charge me with perjury. The IRS sends a follow-up letter stating I forgot to sign. They keep the money I send and seem to forget the signature. The issue on that, if you'll always sign it, 28, underneath that, 28 USC 1746, little 1, it takes care of that. It says you're a foreign. You're foreign. In other words, you're a foreigner. And you do not have to swear on the penalties of perjury. The only one that has to swear on the penalty of perjury is a federal employee. Someone who works for the federal government. An employee or someone who is a United States citizen. What they've done to you on the 1040, why would you want to fill a 1040 out to begin with? Are you a federal employee? If you're a federal employee, you owe the tax. There ain't no way of getting out of it. But you're swearing under the penalty of perjury. Guess what that's the voluntary part of the income tax that they talk about? You're volunteering the document that you're going to file. It has nothing to do with the money or anything else. You're volunteering to file that Form 1040, which is a federal employee document. Yes?
You said that was 28 USC 17 what?
1746. 46. Yeah, 1. And we do it on the 1041s. See, you get to choose whatever form you fill out. We've been choosing the wrong form because all down through the ages, you haven't filed your 1040. Oh, gosh, and you fill out that 1040 and they say, got you now. Why? You're a federal employee. And so that's why they do it. You fill the 1041 out. Within their system, you're a trust. The Social Security is a trust. That number is a trust number. And you'll find on the Social Security they will never use your name any way other than one way all the time. It's exactly the same. Mine's Alva R. Mcleod, Jr. So No, I'm not going to, I agree with this. On January 2nd, when you value your house with a property, can they disagree with your value? On the internet, it seems they can. They may disagree with it, but they can't make me take it off. They can disagree all they want to. But I just ask them who they are. It goes around the circle. Eventually it comes right back to the tax assessor collector. Because the criminal district attorney can't make you pay it. He's a third party in the action. You notify him he's third party, he has to get out. But it's just knowing what you can do and what you can't do. And as a sovereign, there's not much you can't do. Rice, is Nancy supposed to speak? I think she did. Somebody was worried about Nancy. On the bond flow that it now appears as if we're not sending a copy of the bond. That's right. To the sheriff, governor, controller. Is this true? Yes. If so, why make the change? You don't need to send it to them. We found out the only one that needs to get a copy of it is the Snow. So don't worry about the sheriff and all them now. The only time you do that is when they're in an action that come after your house or something, to where the sheriff gets involved. Then make him aware of what's going on. If you will notify the sheriff, he will leave you alone. If you don't notify him, he's going to come out. Huh? Yeah.
Right.
Are you pointing at the thing now, too? I mean, okay. All right. But anyway, next Wednesday, we'll be right back here.